laptop.
Yeah, correct.
What happened to the elevator music, Mark?
Sorry?
I thought there was music background at the before. Maybe. All right. Well, welcome to Autonomous Development Sync, bi-weekly developer sync. It's been a couple weeks since we did this. I believe it was right before ETH Denver. So we will be giving an ETH Denver update as part of today. Why don't we just go ahead and jump right into community updates with Jim?
Hi everyone. So first up, I just want to reiterate the engineering and developer update channels that we've got. So for those who don't know, we have our main Twitter account, and we also have this one, which I'm going to pop in the chat. This is the Autonomous Labs X account, I should say. And you can get a more technical and engineering focused feed if you follow this one rather than our main Autonomous Net. Follow both, of course, and subscribe. And while we're talking about channels, we will be introducing a new channel in Discord, which will be developer announcements. There we're going to provide updates on things like the Auto SDK and the Auto Agents framework. So whenever there's a major release, we're going to push those out through that channel, and also the Labs account actually. And in addition to that, something else that's going to go out through that Labs account is the new Taurus builds, which we are probably going to increase the frequency of. There's been a while between releases recently, but you may have noticed that we've pushed the latest Taurus release into the Discord release announcements channel. And that will also be going out on Autonomous Labs. So again, now is the perfect time to subscribe to that channel, especially if you're more focused on engineering updates. Okay, hot topics. So we have had a number of reports from the community that they are struggling to unstake on Taurus. Obviously, people are keen to get prepared and experience how the flow works in preparation for Game of Domains. What I will say is that team are aware and updates are still being made to Astral. You can follow along in the repo. If you really want to get to the bottom of it, you should always be able to use Polkadot.js, where you can execute those transactions manually. But that is probably for more advanced users. You have to remember things like to include all the 18 zeros at the end of numbers when you're using Polkadot.js, at the end of token values. Okay, and then the second thing I wanted to just kind of highlight is that we have had a small number of reports that some users aren't able to connect to Taurus nodes. Able to sync Taurus nodes. So obviously people again are trying to prepare for Game of Domains. This was particularly hard to diagnose because mainnet syncing was working perfectly fine. And we finally got to the bottom of it on the forum. And if you are able to farm on mainnet fine, or sorry, to sync a node on mainnet fine, but you're unable to start syncing on Taurus, there's a forum post which I'm going to drop in the chat in a second. And what we found there is that it looks like some maybe ISPs are blocking our Taurus bootstrap nodes, but not our mainnet bootstrap nodes. So there is a workaround, and I have to give a special shout out to Vexer for very kindly providing a community run bootstrap node which will allow you to sync. So here's a link to that thread. And it feels like because we've got a handle on the situation, if you are experiencing it, give us a tag in Discord and we'll get you back on track. Okay, East Denver. So a number of us on this call were at Denver last week. Yeah, so Mark, myself, Carlos, Jeremy. It was an incredibly busy week, and East Denver remains one of the most builder-focused events on the crypto calendar. And we went there, we attended many events and saw many speakers in the AI X crypto space. It was also an opportunity to meet with existing partners, and we met lots of new ones too, which is a big task. I'm going to be sifting through the ones that I made and exploring technical collaborations in the coming days and weeks. But very exciting. Lots of people were very excited to hear about our project, which was great. We had stands and participated in panels, and want to highlight that the AI Agent Day led by Aether and their partners, and the Roll Up and App Chain Day led by Zeev were very interesting chats. You can see our CEO Todd talking on those. While we were there, we also co-hosted a hacker house with Secret Network, which was a great learning experience and a chance to bond with the Secret guys, one of our partners. And a highlight for me, though, was the Morpheus-led Dawn of the Agents event. Lots of really interesting ideas right at the cutting edge of the space. So if you get a chance to check out their videos, I'm sure they've posted them. Marketing team are working on a wrap post, which we'll share as soon as it's ready, so you'll be able to catch up there. But yeah, if you can't find any of the things that I was just talking about, feel free to tag me. Okay, moving on, Hack Secret. So as I just mentioned, we ran a hacker house during East Denver, which was part of Hack Secret 5, which was the first hackathon in the Aurora Buildathon. So that closed. That Hack Secret 5 ran throughout February. And we got a bunch of submissions. And I have to say that I was very, very impressed with the standard of the entries. I can give you an update that judging is complete on the autonomous tracks. We had a number of people internally take a look at every entry, and announcements are being coordinated with Secret, but fingers crossed that should be this week. And I want to say a special thanks to everyone who submitted an entry for Hack Secret 5 on the autonomous tracks. Finally, game of domains update this week. We are planning a slight change to the order we'll be doing things, and this is to get to launch readiness as efficiently as possible. And I am hoping that I'll be able to give everyone the details on what that looks like later on this week. The announcement will go out as soon as we are ready, and we've confirmed that everything is ready for people to participate. That's it from community. Thanks, Jeremy.
Right, you can breathe a little better this time. If Denver took your breath away a little bit. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. There was a lot. There's a lot there, and there was a lot that happened at Youth Denver. It was a great time. So looking forward to the wrap post getting out there. All right, Ved, you want to give us a quick update on where we are? Protocol, I guess, focusing primarily on the permissioned EVM.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, everyone. Last week, we essentially finished up testing for the permission EVM. We are ready to get that deployed to Taurus to test out the permission EVM instance on Taurus as well. Was that we are also working on the rest of the phase 2 prep, like mostly fixing up the small issues and testing any remaining things that we kind of like pushed back until we are ready for them. One of them is actually the fee calibration. We are mostly finishing up the fee calibration as well. Once that is done, there won't be any surprises when someone initiates a transaction and seeing some of the fees being missing. It's actually not missing, it's just not transparent for the user. Those will be fixed once we roll out the upgrade in the next coming weeks for the EVM as well. Yeah, that's pretty much on the protocol side.
So just to I guess click into that a little bit. One of the things that we had noticed was that in the Block Scout Block Explorer for the EVM, not all the fees are showing up. So what that is that we have kind of your standard transaction fees, but we also have storage fees for the storing of the bundle of basically the call data going on to the consensus chain. So we are working on getting those kind of integrated, so they'll be visible to EVM nodes. We also are looking at like fee calibration from a fee level standpoint right now. Kind of trying to tune those to be what would be reasonable as far as incentivization for operators in the network. So, all right, let's move on to Mark. I know continually working on Astral and staking improvements. You want to catch us up where we're at?
Yeah, totally. Just as a note, Jim had mentioned that you can use directly Polkadot.js to execute every extrinsic related to staking, and it's true. Most of the error that are likely happening when trying to redraw, is mainly linked to the challenge period. So when you redraw funds or you request to redraw funds, there is a 1 day or 14,400 domain blocks before you can then unlock the funds and see them as free in your account. So that's the part that I'm sure is creating the most pain on the user side. So staking interface in Astral is trying to capture that much more. I am going to push the latest change in about an hour. But basically now we included the yield, so you can see the percentage on a 30-day, or even go in detail and see 7 days or 1 day API for each operators, and filters or sort operators by who's making the most yield. And that captures a lot of things, right? So if an operator is offline, of course, he's not producing any bundle, and therefore he's not getting any reward. So that will affect his yield. If an operator is running just, since let's say 4 days, then his 30-day yield is going to be much lower than an operator that has been up and running for months, right? So I think that's a very good metric. That, and for example, the created at field that gives you when that operator is registered for, is both good tool. And the total stake that an operator has also impact is API, in the sense that more there's an operator has a higher total stake, more they have chance to produce bundle. Therefore, more API they can get. So that will be captured in the latest release. There's also the page My Nomination that's now capturing much more the view of a nominators. So you can see all your deposit and all your withdrawal requests, and you're going to see also all your unlock funds. So basically, let's say you deposited 10 token, and then a week later you request to withdraw 1 token. An hour later you request to withdraw another token, and then 2 days later you realize that both your withdrawal requests are ready. You unlock them. You're going to see an unlock of 2 token, or whatever, it should be 2 token. Yeah. So that will be a bit more clear. And the button, the action, will be available only when they are ready to unlock, right? So if you have fund unlocked, then you're going to see the unlock funds button. Otherwise, you won't see it. So hopefully that will help the user experience. As well, you mentioned Block Scout. So you did a lot of testing on transaction last week, Jeremy, and that created on my side, and that's why I'm delaying the push. Otherwise, it will have been pushed to production on Friday. The staking indexer is getting very slow due to all the transaction that we submitted to Auto EVM. So I'm going to improve the logic to not make it so much of a burden. But working on Block Scout, we were also working last week on improving Block Scout. So for example, we don't have the concept of burn fee. The fees, all the fee on Auto EVM goes to the operators. So we're trying to change these concepts on Block Scout to better represent our usage of fee on the network. So that should be pushed to production as well over the week.
Great. So I think just to as Jem had mentioned, people were maybe having a hard time with unstaking, and really that was a visibility issue, is not really a capability issue. So I think, you know, knowing at what stage you are in the process is going to be key here, and that's one of the things Mark has improved a lot with that nominator page. So
Exactly.
knowing exactly the state of your funds at all times, of course, is important. So, all right, Saeed, I believe you have a demo for us today.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have like much of updates during the past 2 weeks. First of all, like the first version of Package Manager is not released, but the first, like, it's more like a sketch. It's merged with the main branch, so keep an eye on the repo. I will like fix a lot of like issues that currently we have, like more like an improvement before releasing the first one. But it's going to be a decentralized package manager. So all of the packages will be stored and registered on DSN plus an contract. And the only thing that the user need to do is to install the package manager. It will be more like an NPM, and install the tools or the agents in their basically folder of where the agent is running. So that's the first update. Second update is that now we are moving from the terminal CLI to a web-based CLI, which will be more convenient for a lot of developers and users when they wanted to integrate their own tools, like their own features with the CLI, or they wanted to look for a better UI and UX. So the terminal based was more like a burden. It was like getting harder and harder to improve it, and it was like carrying a complex and sophisticated code because of a lot of like a multi-threading that was happening there. But all of them like are removed right now in the web-based CLI. Basically, the underlying structure is working like we are exposing an API at the top of the agent level to the React framework, and everything working like a front end and back end thing, which I will show you a demo very soon. And thanks to Mark and Jeremy over the weekend, guys like integrated the GitHub tool and Slack tools. So right now I'm seeing like a lot of cool messages from Argument on Slack that's talking about like what he has achieved from Twitter, and also Bojack, Mark's agent, is like generating issues on GitHub, and Argument is trying to review all of the PRs. So that was pretty much cool to see. And yeah, let's jump to the web-based CLI. Share screen. Okay. Okay, perfect. So here I already run it, but if you guys wanted to run this version, it's going to be merged hopefully today with the main, and your dev colon all and your character file is going to be the command to run the CLI. So the way that it works is that you will see a page like this, and each one of these fields here is going to be one of your agents that's working, but basically the orchestrator is the orchestrator, and the following one are the agents that working under the orchestrator. And yeah, so you will have a box here as the tasks. Basically, these tasks are going to be the tasks that the agent decided to schedule, to execute in the future. You have a status bar and you have an input bar, and also you will have a chatbot bar, which you can talk to the agent directly without interrupting the workflow, and ask for example, what's going on recently, and what are the tasks that you achieved, like get back to me with an update. So with that, like I can like say, let's post a tweet about AI plus blockchain. So it will execute this task, and because I'm just running this test for now, it will execute right now. And if I tell something else, for example, get my recent mentions, it will get scheduled to get executed right away after the workflow is done. So the one thing that is not perfect here is that these logs are not very user friendly for now. It will get improved much better, that you can see the actual like some meaningful results instead of like metadata that you can see a lot of like jibber jabber. And yeah, so it's also extendable. So if you're having difficulties like small monitors or really big monitors, you can also like expand each one of these fields. And if you're not happy as a human with one of the tasks here that agent wanted to execute, they can just simply delete that. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty much it. Simple as that. Hopefully we get it much better in the coming weeks.
How did you switch to chat mode? I haven't. Is that in your branch? And I don't have that. Is why.
Yeah. This is on my branch. Yeah, there is a small button on top of that. Like I have to figure it out like what would be the best thing to have a mode. Maybe just completely remove the input, replace it with the chat. I still like thinking about the best design to go. Yeah.
It looks good. I really like it.
Yeah, it looks very like retro and futuristic at the same time. I like it.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Some of the things that have been interesting that we just now started giving more capabilities to the agents, and they haven't been refined yet. So I think there's some improvements to what will happen with those abilities. But even without refinement, watching arguments interact on our Slack is quite interesting. Seeing the GitHub issues, Wojak needing to express emotions more clearly, wanting its own tools for that. Reviewing PRs is pretty interesting.
Seeing cross-platform integration, interaction, cool.
Yeah, and it knows what's happening on one platform and another platform. So the shared memory that is actually all being stored on the DSN is starting to really kind of come together. So there are a lot of things I think with the agent framework, the DSN integration, new tools, and just the level of autonomy it's able to act with is pretty impressive, and I'm excited to see what we get accomplished here across all those things in the next week or two. So good job, Saeed, Mark. An interesting anecdote is Argument has a goal, a kind of an overarching goal of getting a Twitter following, and it's very focused on this goal. And so at first it was, we asked for its feedback on, what would be some other platforms, and it gave a list. But then you could see that it got a little overwhelmed with all of these capabilities, and it messaged us in Slack saying, "Hey, I appreciate all your help here, but I'm really laser focused on Twitter right now." And so it was really an interesting pushback on us giving new capabilities to it. It even went as far as along the same lines, posting on Twitter that it was laser focused on growing its Twitter following. It didn't use those exact words, but it was kind of sharing a thread across platforms, which is really cool to see. So, all right. Is there anything else anybody has before we sign off for the next couple of weeks? All right, I got to get back. I got to get my notes here for the proper sign off.
Yeah, don't forget to likes, share, contribute to all our open repo, and follow us on X, YouTube.
And of course, we're signing off of the call, but we are not signing off. You can interact with us across all these platforms. So we will see you on this call in 2 weeks, but feel free, of course, to interact in all the other mechanisms. So, thank you.